So gonna wait for this 5-minute range to set. And we'll go from there. In terms of, let's see. So gonna wait for this 5-minute range to set. And we'll go from there. In terms of, let's see. So gonna wait for this 5-minute range to set. All right. We got 1 minute left till that 5-minute range is set. 1 minute left. All right. Let's see higher time frame wise. We do have a massive gap. As you could see, pretty big gap to the downside. We opened up pretty high. So we have that gap to the downside. 15-minute chart. Let's see what's going on here. Kind of a slow grind up. All pre-market long, it's been a very slow grind up. As you can see, pretty big gap to the downside. We opened up pretty high. We'll see what we do here. We got that support there on. We got a pivot point down there and the 200 down there. Big rejection. Looks like we wanna. We're coming up on view op too. We got view op down here too. So let's see if we could get a good trade in. I would love to get a good trade in today, but I'm not gonna force anything. Here, let me go back to the 5-minute. 5-minute. All right, we got that 5-minute range set. We got view op down here too. Let's see. Get a good trade in. I would love to get a good trade in today, but I'm not gonna force anything. Let me mark out this 5-minute range here. 5-minute. All right, we got that 5-minute range set. Let's all right, there's that 5-minute range. Not horrible. Mark out this 5-minute range here. See how this candle closes. We're kind of tapping into view op here. All right, there's that 5-minute range. Not horrible. All right, there's that close below the range. We're kind of tapping into view op here. We kind of pushed highs. We pushed highs up there. Took out pre-market highs before we dumped. Good morning. Kind of seeing what price does here after this close. We kind of pushed highs. We pushed highs up there. This is a kind of important area. Kind of sweeping this liquidity down here. Good morning. Kind of seeing what price. I don't think we have any major news today. Let's see. We got FOMC on Friday. Sweeping this liquidity down here. So let's see. Come on. See if we can get a bullish imbalance up here in this range. Kind of trying to tap into this this bearish imbalance right there. We're back inside that range, bouncing off view op. So we do have highs. I think are those all-time highs? I think those are all-time highs. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so we're pretty much at we're at all-time highs, so we'll see how price sets itself up here. Pretty big wick to the downside on the 15-minute, but we did have that rejection. Let's see if now we're kind of seeing what happens here. Pretty. Got one more candle. So depending on how this candle closes now, is it going to leave an imbalance or not, is the question here. Nope. I mean, there is actually still an imbalance. Here, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, let's see. See if we can, safest target would have been the body candle highs, but I want to try to get a 1-to-1. We're kind of, oh, crap. My bad. Hold on. I'll fix it. TikTok's freaking glitching. God. Oh my gosh, come on, man. No, 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 no. Dang it, somebody, give me a second. Alright, we got a rip here. Come on. I am sized heavy on this trade because we need a higher low here. We need to start taking out those highs again. Oh, we do have a gap to the downside though. Fudge. Looks like that gap may want to get filled. Hopefully we can kind of rip before. There we go. Keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. It's a good sign. Higher low. Bouncing our view up. Let's see all-time highs if we could continue ripping all-time highs. Let's get this Monday going so we could keep ripping it. Come on, NASDAQ. Give it to me. Yeah, I know. We have a massive gap to the downside. I know that. God. Too much resistance. We got room. I mean, we don't have a pivot point in the way. We got room to go. Having trouble here. Come on, NASDAQ. Give it to me, please. Give it to me. Ah, it's freaking pullback. So rip up, pull back, rip up, pull back, rip up, pull back. This chop sideways crap. Is it gonna stop me out just to go higher? Hopefully not. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah, I hope. We're looking primed to rip through the high. Honestly, we are looking primed. It's looking pretty good. We took out a major level down there. Looks like it wants to go higher. Hurry up! I don't think we have. Hold on. Bruh, just freaking rip it already. Y'all pissed? Come on, man. Don't do this. It's a Monday. We got literally no news today, so it's gonna be a pretty choppy day, probably. Maybe. Alright, let's see it. Come on. Come on, NASDAQ. Come on! Safest place, TP would have been those body candle highs, but I'm just trying to go for a 1-to-1. Hopefully this thing doesn't dump down here from body candle highs, because that would freaking suck. Those bastards. I'm telling you, body candle highs. is a pretty big level. Just trying to look here for a 1-to-1. Bouncing off the 200. I am nervous because I am sized in pretty heavy for my... Why so desperate? Because I'm sized in very heavy. I'm trying to take advantage of this Apex a lifetime activation fee before it expires. So I'm sized in pretty heavy here. Not crazy heavy, like $200 more than usual. No, $300. Almost twice as heavy. So, we'll see. Not heavy enough that I'll like blow my account or anything, but heavy enough that it'll cause a dent in it. Oh my god. Obviously when I go in, it's gonna be chop shit. Oh my god. Bruh. Not a good way for me to start my Monday at all, if this thing stops me out. I knew I should have had my TP at the body candle highs. I was being greedy. I was being a little greedy because I wanted a 1-to-1 to try to take advantage of this. Normally I probably would have had my TP up here at the body candle highs. But the risk to reward does not make sense on that. I have to at least target a 1-to-1. But the safest area would have been those body candle highs. But the risk to reward on that was not good. So I have to kind of... God, if this thing... Oh my god. Fudge! Get out while you can. No, I might TP above the highs. It's a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I'm just saying probability wise. Highest area of probability would have been these body candle highs. But I moved my TP up here to get that 1-to-1 risk to reward. I mean, I think it could go there. It's all-time highs, but we do have a massive gap to the downside. Right now, the wicks are looking very bullish on the 15-minute chart. Looks like we could rip here. We're primed to go. It's looking good for a rip. I just hope it, you know, goes to those highs one more time before it fills that gap. I don't want it to start dumping and filling that gap right now. We're at 10 o'clock, almost that like area where we do a lot of times get a rip to the upside around 10 a.m. So looking pretty primed to potentially, as long as nothing changes. The 15-minute chart looks pretty bullish. So pretty bullish 15-minute chart. We got the next, what? 10 a.m. is going to be that next 15-minute candle. Getting pretty big wicks on the 15-minute to the upside. These freaking sellers are... We're above the view op. We're you know, we're looking... We're at all-time highs, so let's go push through those all-time highs. Come on, NASDAQ. Let's go. It's a no news Monday, so I gotta take that into an account. There's trying to rip, trying to push. Trying to push. Think it, oh, I hope you're wrong. It's not just retesting. We could kind of, no news Monday could be a little bit of a chop day. I'm not being greedy, right? Like, my TP's up there. It's not in an area where it doesn't make sense, you know, so. Come on, rip it! Rip it! We're so close to all-time highs. Who the hell is shorting all-time highs? Explain to me. What kind of idiot is shorting all-time highs? Who in their right minds? Who in their mama's basement is shorting all-time highs? God. These pullbacks freak me the... I'm sized in way too heavy. This is doing like some crazy stuff with my emotions. I don't ever want to go through this ever again. It's Monday. Welcome to Monday. I think we could go for those. Oh! Following my plan. Following my plan. Let's rip it. Who can push this thing up? Who has enough money to push this thing up for me? I'll give you a couple bucks. Alright. Starting to Come on, you're so freaking close. God. I told you, what kind of idiot is trying to short all-time highs? You're not gonna hit my... Bruh. Off with the negativity. Ugh! Don't tell me that! Come on, rip it. NASDAQ. Go for it. You want it. You need it. For the love of God. I'm telling you what, my heart is racing. This is why you don't oversize. Oh, you freaking... I want to say so much. Emotion, yeah, emotion. I am emotional, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm sticking to my plan. I'm letting it play out. I'm not, sitting here canceling my stop loss, moving my, I'm sticking to it. So, I am emotional, but I'm sticking to my plan. Alright. It's trying to take out those highs. We're so freaking close. Bro, we are so close. We need to just rip it through these highs. $15-minute candle opened up already on that 15-minute chart. New 15-minute candle. I mean, we're pretty freaking bullish. Oh my God. Just as quickly as it moved up there, it's going back down. I think it's primed to take out those highs and really rip through. I just don't know how much of a takeout it's going to be. I hope it doesn't just sweep it and then dump. I need it to push through, like, pretty aggressively. Alright, there's all the shorts getting stopped out. There it is. Come on. No, 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 take it out. Do not reverse here. I repeat. Don't you freaking dare reverse here. Oh, you freaking... Oh my God. Oh my... Bruh. Oh my freaking... Bruh! You kidding me? Bruh. Oh, you freaking... There you go. There you go. No, I was emotional this trade because I was way oversized. I was trying to get these accounts passed today, so because Apex sale ends tomorrow, and if I don't pass these accounts in the next couple days, so I'm like the last stretch, I end up spending more money on activation fees. So that's why. So I sized in very heavy to try to get this account passed. Now, I wasn't taking a stupid trade. I still took my setup, just got in with like $300 more than I usually do. Like, the counts are almost passed, but the problem is I don't know if I'm going to get a setup tomorrow. So when I get a setup today, I got to go in heavy because I don't know if I get something tomorrow. And I want to pass these by. So that's why. So I just... Let me see if I passed them. Oh my gosh. I haven't passed them yet. Alright, I passed 2 accounts. I passed 2 accounts. No, wait. Bro, 1 account is at $52,992. I need like $8 left. What am I supposed to do? $992 $989 $53 $959. 1 micro? Literally $8 for 1 account. So out of 7 accounts, $8 left for 1 account to pass it. This account I passed. The other accounts, $89. So like $11 to pass that one. That one I passed. And then another account, $40 to pass. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts. So it passed 4 accounts out of 7. Shit. Like, I'm not gonna scalp these accounts right now, because the problem with that is what I have to do is, we'll see if I get a setup tomorrow. If I get a setup tomorrow, I'll have to go in with like, I don't know, like $200 risk or something for the trade. And then as soon as I'm a little bit in the profit, like $40 in the profit, I'll just have to close that trade out. That would be the best thing, because trust me, the spiral you can go down, if you need $8, for example, to pass an account, and you're starting to take stupid trades not according to your strategy, and for example, say if I would quickly buy right here just to take a quick scalp to try to make that money. Well, I buy, and this thing starts pulling back, and then what am I supposed to do? Now I don't need $8. Now I'm gonna need like $100, $200. So the best thing you could do when you're that close to passing an account is just wait for another setup, and just go in with a little bit less size, but aggressive enough so that it could bounce off a level, and then you could quickly catch a scalp off it. That's the problem with, that's the one issue with copy trading accounts. Some accounts pass, some accounts don't, because you get slipped. Not every account gets filled at the same exact price. So you have some accounts that get slipped, some accounts that get filled at a good price, so... But I still have till tomorrow, so I pretty much I'll have till tomorrow by the end of the day to pass these accounts, to take advantage of. So, I passed 4, I need 3 more to pass, but the 3 are super close. $8, $11, and like 40 bucks. Which funded accounts you chose? I mean, the price wise. So I got, I have 2 take profit trader accounts. They were $100 each, but they don't have activation fees. So that's $100 for the accounts, no activation fees. Then I have 5 Apex accounts that I bought for $33 each, but those have activation fees. Now at this point, I mean, I don't know. This is a tough area right here. Price could rip. It's bouncing off the 5-minute. Bouncing off the 5-minute, but kind of a bummer that so close. Like, couldn't have. See, this is exactly why you don't take scalps up here. Look at that. Boom. And what would have happened if I went in aggressive to try to make $8 or whatever? So, patience is key. Patience. Regardless, this is why I tell people, regardless if you're $2 away from passing an account, $1 away from passing an account, it's best to just wait for your setup, take your setup, and then take profit early. It'll give you the best ratio, like the best odds. Because if you're just trying to guessing, trust me, it ends up bad for a lot of people. Because a lot of people try to take a scalp, take a loss, then they get emotional, take another scalp, take a loss. And then the amount of people that were super close to passing an account, but went on tilt and blew the account because they got over emotional and started revenge trading, is actually a lot of people. I hear that a lot. Because now we're at an area, we've taken out highs. We could go down for those lows now. Now those lows are pretty much a straight shot. We're back inside that 5-minute range. Should I go short now? No, I'm not going short at all-time highs. Screw that. I'm not going short at all-time highs. That would suck too. Exactly. Tried scalping for 50 bucks and scalped to negative 130 instead. Bro, it'd be that way. I'm telling you, this the best way is just to wait for your setup again. Wait for it to happen again, and all you could do is size in normally, but just take faster profits. Like, all you need is a tiny bounce off a gap or something. Boom, tiny gap with normal size. Boom, you pass them. So, like, I typically risk, what, 400 bucks a trade. So, like, if I wait for my setup and I risk 400 bucks, worst case scenario, even if I get stopped out, it's not the end of the world. I'm $400 away from passing the account. It is what it is. I'll take another trade. But what's most likely can happen is I wait for the setup, I get the setup, I'm in that 400 bucks. So that would be what? Let's just say, if it's a, let's just say I'm targeting, like, here it was what? Let's say 60-point move, right? Let me do the math on that. So 60-point move. So pretty much I would need to go 6 contracts for a 60-point move. That's 120, right? Yeah, 120. So 3 contracts deep. I would get... Yeah, so it would be $120 risk for every 10 points with a 60-point move. So 100, all I need is the tiniest little bounce to pass the accounts on normal size. So hopefully I get a setup tomorrow. I really hope I get something tomorrow. How you doing? I'm doing good. Just took a banger trade. Are you saying the long all in? No. Hell no. We're still bouncing off that 5-minute. I mean, for me, a confirmation to the downside would be like pretty much the same confirmation as I took to the upside. Right? Why did I take this long right here? Right? We closed outside this 5-minute range, pushed back inside that 5-minute range. What do you have here? What do you have here? Where is it? Where is he hiding? Where is it hiding? I see it. There it is. What do you have here? Wow, a bullish gap. Not a big gap, but closed outside the range, popped back into it. There's that confirmation for me that we could want to go for those highs again. What do you know? Pop back down here, made a higher low, went for those highs. Same type of confirmation. I mean, I wouldn't take it because we're at all-time highs. So even if I get a setup up here for this strategy, I wouldn't take it. I may switch to my other accounts and just scalp them. Let me do that actually, because I'm not going to trade these accounts today anymore. So let me switch. Give me a second. Let me switch to my other accounts. Just in case I get some kind of a setup, and I'll take it on those. Man, I keep coughing. Ugh. All right. So, we'll see what happens here. It would be a little bit risky, but if I do take a trade on the other accounts, it's going to be a very quick scalp. So, not going to be anything... So do you think if you risk 100 per trade when price goes to your side when it reaches 100, you take TP? No, I typically take areas off of probability. And depending on the trade, it's like this is where kind of discretion comes in. If like I was telling you right here, my entry was right here, right? My entry was off this imbalance right there. I said it. Highest probability is going to be body candle highs. That's the highest probability from that gap to take a trade off of. But the risk to reward, it's not even a 1-to-1. So I'm kind of like, I'm going for those highs. I just put my stop at the highs. If the probability makes sense for me to take it at the body candle, I will always take it at the body candle because that's the highest probability. The trade was still good. I still like the trade, but I needed my take profit to be above these highs for a good risk to reward. And so, as you see, what happened? Look, price came up to the body candle highs. What happened after it took out body candle highs? It rejected all the way back down to the downside, took out these lows, and then we got to rip all the way back to the upside. So I try to take my trades off of probability-wise. But if the probability, you know, for highest probability is not a good risk to reward. Either I don't take the trade, but I still liked it because we had all-time highs up there, and I really thought we could push all-time highs again. So that's kind of my thought process of... Missed my entry at 800 earlier. Oh, you're trying to target 800? Yeah, see, I got in... I got in at... What? 8:30. Because 8:30 was my confirmation. That was my confirmation candle to that this could go up. And, right, 800s, it took out the low. If you see that 15-minute chart... So I was saying, 15-minute chart looks pretty bullish. Right? Look at the 15-minute chart. We took out these 15-minute lows, and then we started to rip back up to the upside. And look at the wicks on that 15-minute candle. Let me go back so if I get a setup here. All right. If this thing does pop up, I'll take a quick scalp. It's gonna be a risky scalp, but it's a scalp nonetheless. If this, yeah, it may not even pop back up there. We got a very tiny bullish imbalance, but nothing like... I would take a trade off it on my other accounts if this thing does pop back up. Now this account is my scalping account. This is like... completely different. The other trade, I took $700 profit. This, I'm going to be taking like $20 scalps just for a quick 1-to-1. High probability. Trying to build these accounts to a level where I can size up to trade my other strategy. So please don't copy me. You're going to get wrecked. I know I keep having to say that, but... This is just a fun account. I don't care about if I was to blow these accounts, I really don't care. This is just a fun account. This is a very discretionary versus the first trade you saw me take, very systematic trade plan. This is very discretionary, so I wouldn't recommend having a very discretionary strategy. Looks like we're just... Alright, I'm gonna cancel it for now. Oh, missed it? Yeah, that sucks. Bro, I hate that. The amount of times that's when like that almost separates the good traders from the bad traders, is when you miss a trade and then you don't chase it. You sit there and just you just watch it go all the way up to your TP and you don't chase it. That's a newbie trader would definitely have chased that, right? Missed the trade, ends up getting in way up here, and then horrible risk to reward, ends up getting stopped out for a big loss because he chased it. It could turn really ugly really fast. Man, I'm trying to think what the... The problem is with my other accounts, if I don't get a setup tomorrow, I'm gonna have to try to scalp the trade. If I'm gonna have to scalp it, here's the plan. All right, I got the plan. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow. If I get a setup, I'm gonna go in with my normal size and try to scalp my setup. if I do not get a setup, I will have to size down to like 1 micro and try to scalp a micro, because I'm not going in heavy discretionarily. That's gonna end up really bad. So if I don't get a setup and I end up just having to scalp the accounts, I'll have to size to one, maybe 2 micros, probably 2 micros, just to catch a 10-point move quickly and take profit and then call it a day. So that's the plan. Learn my lesson on chasing trades, easiest way to blow it. Yeah. Bro, I'm telling you, the amount of times I've heard when people have almost passed the account, like what I'm at right now, one of my accounts is literally $11 away from passing. The amount of times I've heard where people try to pass it, and then they start taking trades, they take a losing trade, they start revenge trading, and they blow their account when they were either super close to passing an account or super close to getting a payout. One of the two. That messes with your mental really bad. Because now you've blown an account, now you have to start all over again. And if you would have just took a small L and walked away, guess what? You could have came back tomorrow, made it back, and you would have been back to where you were. So yeah, that's why you have to have a plan and just stick to it. If you miss it, I mean, you will see me. If you watch my live streams long enough, you will see it happens. Price doesn't, I'm trying to catch an entry. Price doesn't fill me and just rips without me. And I'm just like sitting there watching price go all the way up, and I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to chase it. It's a part of discipline. You just got to follow your plan. All right, maybe I'll take a very quick scalp just for fun. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's a Monday with no news. I kind of understood that could happen. So, gotta be careful here. Monday no news is kind of a tough. Looks like it wants to go for those lows again. Possibly fill that, the gap from the open. God, they can't. We're kind of, still going lower. Kind of making a trend lower, but. Monday news. Was there news before open? I thought there was no news today. I don't know if this is. And we're dropping. I wanted to push up a little bit higher before. Wow. I was trying to catch that trying to see if price could reject off that very tiny imbalance. Well, we don't always, news doesn't always come out when market was closed. We get a lot of times we get news at 10 a.m. Sometimes 9:45. I wish they would just do news pre-market and not have to release news at 10 a.m. because it can kind of screw you up when they release news at 10 a.m. Or the amount of times, it's worked out pretty well for me, but when you're in a trade during a high volatility news, it sucks. Let me see if I could catch a quick scalp. Stop's going to be the 20 point. It's just going to be a very quickie. Stopped out. Man, we are ripping all the way back up. I thought we could get some form of a rejection there. What's up? What's up? Wow, we're ripping all the way back up to highs. That's honestly pretty surprising. We could reject here still, though. If this puts in a higher low. I know it's very bullish right now. May want to go for those highs again. Very, like, a lot of wicks to the upside. I'll give it that. A lot of wicks. If you look at the 15-minute chart, pretty wicky. Look at the wicks. And if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. Watch this thing put in a lower high and just dump back down. How much money did you start with today? What do you mean start with? I made $730 across 7 accounts. That's all it takes. You wait for one good setup and you wait for your setup and that's it. That's all you could do trading. It's not the most fun thing to do in trading. Real trading is actually pretty boring because you're sitting there and waiting. No, I'm trading funded. I'm trading prop firm accounts. No, I don't. Yeah, don't think about it that way. Everyone starts. You gotta in the beginning. You start with one account, and then when you can prove to yourself that you can actually trade, then you start scaling accounts. Then the numbers can, like, there's the barrier is like way up there. So you can literally, you know, if you've proven to yourself that you can take, you know, scalp one account and you can make money with one account, you have a strategy, you know what you're doing, you're managing risk correctly, bro, you can get 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 accounts later on. So it's like, you got to focus on not profit, you got to focus on strategy and make sure that you're following a plan and you're making money. You may not be making a lot of money, but that doesn't matter because trading is a scaling type of thing. If somebody can make $5 in the market consistently, make $5, what stops that person that's making $5 consistently from eventually making $5,000? Right? He could be doing the same exact strategy that he was doing to make $5, but now his account has grown to a level where now he's risking $5,000 because of where he's gotten his account, or she. But so don't look at the profits. Look at your system and strategy, and that's the most important part. Profits are like whatever. Profits come. Profits come with good trading. But yeah, too many people get caught up in this P&L chase that it really screws you up, especially when you chase P&L. Because when you chase P&L, you start taking dumb trades. You start taking profits at an area, not because of what the chart tells you, but because you want $1,000 out of this trade. So in order to get $1,000, you have to have your TP right here, which is very stupid. You don't put your TP in an area just because you want to make $1,000. You put your TP in an area based on what the chart is telling you. Market makers. Was down 600 and only 360. Nice. Yeah, no matter what kind of drawdown you go through, all you could do is stick to your plan. And this is why I recommend with your strategy, this is so important. You will never hear any other trader tell you this. And this is kind of what I do. I do trade pretty aggressively, like in my accounts, but not as aggressive. I may be conservative compared to some of how other people trade aggressively, but for me, it's aggressive. But what I do is I have my data, right? And by data, I mean I can go back and see, all right, Monday was a winning day, Tuesday was a winning day, Wednesday was a winning day, Thursday was a losing day. And I can go back and see my data, and I can see based off of, say, 3 to 4 months of trading, if I took a max of 2 losses in a row. So 4 months of data, if I took a max loss of 2 losses in a row, that's my data. So I can stay my full position size per trade. If I take 3 losses in a row, guess what I'll do? I'll size down for the 4th loss, take a step back, reevaluate, because now I have new data, reevaluate, see what adjustments I can potentially make, right? Make back two of the losing trades. Yes, it's going to take some time because I'm sized down. But once I make that back, size back up. And if I'm going back in the flow, so see what happens is when I go through drawdown, I size down. When I go through profits, I stay sized up. So I can have my bell curve. When I go through drawdown, it's a little dip. And then when I go through profits, it's a bigger spike. So my bell curve is shaped up. And I only do this when I get new data. I size down because new data, I have to reevaluate. Is the market shifting? Is something different? Do I need to make some adjustments to my strategy? What do I need to do? Did you take a TP? Yeah, I took TP a long time ago. I took TP right before it reversed right here. I took TP and then it reversed on me. Not on me, but... Man, we just are ripping. Looks like I should have had my TP way up. No, I'm just joking. I can't do that. Ugh. So, but yeah. Oh, y'all saw great interview. Y'all saw Titans of Trading released the interview yesterday of Larry Williams, one of the GOATs in trading. But yeah, pretty good interview. It's pretty funny because Larry Williams apparently, for those of you who don't know who Larry Williams is, he's like a legendary trader that in the World Cup of Trading, he took a $10,000 account and he grew it 11,000% in 1 year. And he was saying he was risking 30% per trade for a whole year. 30% per trade. And it's funny because he asked him, he's like, so what do you do? Like, I wish like the bell curve was like, you know, you take a loss, like a 50% win rate. You take a loss, then you take profit, then you take a loss, then you take profit. But it's like, usually it's an uneven distribution of losses. Like you could take You can have a 50% win rate, right, and take 5 losses in a row. That's possible. And he asked him, he's like, what did you do to not blow up your account? Because 2 losing trades for him at 30%, that's 60% of your account already gone. And it's funny because he's just like, don't be wrong. It's like the biggest mic drop moment. And there's like this awkward pause of just silence. He's like, please explain. He's like, yeah, don't be wrong. If you're risking 30%, you better not be wrong. And that's like, it's kind of funny because, you know, some people say, oh, he's risking 5%. He's risking 10% of his account. Risk management is different for every person. You can take a look at one person. One person can be risking 5% of his account, and it would be stupid for him not to risk 5% of his account. For another person, based on his data, he's risking 5%, and it would be very stupid for him to risk 5%. Just based off of how many losses do you take in a row, like what's your win rate, how confident are you in your you know, strategy, how disciplined are you? So, but it's crazy. 30% for a whole year, and he didn't blow his account. He grew 11,000%. His daughter also. His daughter apparently is an actress. She was in some movie or whatever. His daughter grew to 9,000. He taught his daughter how to trade. She grew her account to 9,000%. So it's not like he just got lucky. He literally like taught other people how to do it. His students got like 300-400%. So it's like, it's pretty crazy. And what's hilarious is he had no idea, because he asked him a question about ICT. ICT apparently is like, oh, I'm gonna beat his record, and ended up blowing his account. But it's funny because he had no idea who ICT was. And ICT was apparently, you know, he was saying he was gonna beat his record, that he emailed him telling him he's gonna beat his record. He's like, I mean, beat it. I mean, records are there to be broken. I would be happy if you beat my record. But that's like a goat in trading. That's a dude that I can respect. He doesn't talk, he just trades. There's a lot of traders in the social media space. All they do is talk. They talk, try to stir up some drama. And then there are those traders who just shut their mouth and let the trading do the talking. That's it. He was saying he was so zoned in. He's like, I was probably not a pleasant person to be around because of how zoned in he was that year for the he was like in competition mode. Pretty interesting. Larry, if you type in the podcast Titans of Tomorrow, you'll see yesterday they released the episode with Larry Williams. He's literally like one of the goats in trading. Like, grew an account 11,000% in a year. But he just talks. He mainly talks about his, like, you know, his journey through, and gives some pretty good advice. Here, I'll see if I can. Here, hold on. You've probably heard of him before. If you've been in the trading space, I feel like there's no way you haven't heard of him. Like, everyone talks, he's just a legend. Everyone talks about him. That's his name. Oh, okay. Started trading last month. Looks like we're in a weird spot. Like, market's grinding higher, but very slowly. That's ICT. Apparently, yeah, I guess that's the original ICT concept. That's the real guy. Apparently, I guess, yeah, ICT learned from him or something. I don't know if he was, like, directly his mentor, or I don't know. He wasn't directly his mentor. There's no way he was directly his mentor. So, like, They didn't have like a one-on-one, like, you know, personal like relationship as a mentor, but he learned from him as a trader. Because when he asked him about ICT, Larry had no idea who ICT was. So they don't know each other. That just shows how tuned out of the trading space he is. He just trades. He has a 60-year. He traded for 60 years already. So he's just like, he trades. He doesn't get into all the social media stuff. And I mean, he's like 83 years old, so not really surprising he's not in social media. Dude just wants to live his life and not. No. Larry doesn't use ICT concepts. I don't think he even used from the interview. He doesn't even use really technical analysis. He uses something else, like. But he goes on to say, I mean, there's so many ways, like there are a lot of ways you can be profitable in trading. Like pretty much one of the major points I got out of that is, especially for people that are learning, find a mentor that something really clicks with you. If you're trying to watch somebody that's maybe you're trying to watch somebody and it's just not clicking for you, like keep watching people and go with the person who it really clicks. Because sometimes, even in my experience, I've tried other people's strategies. I'm not saying that like their strategies don't work. Maybe those strategies work for them, but when I was trying to learn their strategies, it just was not clicking for me. Like in my brain, I just could not grasp it. So I'm just like, I can't be profitable with a strategy that doesn't click in my mind. But then out of nowhere, right, when you find a strategy and it's just like, it clicks, boom, you understand the strategy. Now you can easily start to just follow the rules because it clicked for you. And I'm not saying it's going to be that easy to where you're automatically just going to get it. You got to put in some legwork, but certain strategies are going to be a lot easier for you to understand than other strategies. There are some complicated strategies out there. Technical analysis is out the window when volume comes in. I mean, yeah, that's partially true. That's the hard part about technical analysis, right? Is you could do technical analysis based on previous history of, previous chart history, right? That's all it is. That's all you're doing. I mean, you can have anything come in, right? You can have a perfect setup on a chart, and this is why stop losses are so important. You can have a perfect setup on a chart, and then Trump tweets something. Bunch of volume comes into the market. Screw your technical analysis, because you can either get lucky and take profit, or you can get stopped out. Right? You can enter a trade, and a big institution, right, sells $50 million right where you entered. Guess what's going to happen? Market's going to go down, regardless of what your technical analysis told you. So it's like, yeah, it's partially true, but that's why you have to have stop losses for those instances to where you're in a trade, a bunch of volume comes into the opposite direction of where you're trying to take the trade. That's why you have a stop loss, because that could happen. Technical analysis is never like I have a perfect setup, so this trade has to work out. Trades by, I don't know who that is. I get burned because I oversize. Here's the thing about sizing, right? You have to size accordingly to your win rate, how many losses you take in a row. Don't look at some other person and how they're sizing, because their data is completely different. Based on my data, I can size more aggressive from other traders and not go through emotions. Because if my data tells me in 4 months I've never taken more than 2 losses in a row, I can size pretty aggressively. And then when my data shifts, I can size down. Somebody else that has a lower win rate that it's more likely for that person to go through 5 losing trades in a row. That doesn't happen for me because I'm a scalper. So I don't really lose 5 losing trades in a row. It just doesn't happen. Somebody else that has a different strategy, that's a common thing for them to go through 5 losing trades in a row. So they naturally have to size a lot lower per trade than me. So sizing is very personal. Look at your data and figure out what size you can handle. Like, how many losing trades do you typically go through? And I give myself more room. Like I said, I typically don't take more than 2 losing trades in a row. I allow myself 6 losing trades before I blow my account. So, and this is talking about in the prop firm space, not a live account. So you can see how I can still size aggressively, but my data, I'm not going to blow my account. How do you find your strategy, or how do I find my own strategy? That's the hard part. That's the part that takes time, is especially when you're a beginner. When you're a beginner, you're looking, you're in the stage of where you're looking at this strategy, this strategy, this strategy. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of strategies and trying to find which one clicks for you, which one you understand the best, and then backtest it. Once you find a strategy that you like, backtest it. Backtest it on a chart, right? Make sure it's profitable. Backtest it for a while. And then once it's a profitable strategy and you can backtest it, now you got to forward test it in a simulated account. Forward test it in a simulated account. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. That's the biggest reason I think why trading, it takes so long for some people. I mean, you got thousands of different strategies. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack of a strategy that works for you. Some people find it fast. Some people, it takes years for them to find a strategy they like. And not this misconception of, oh, every strategy is a profitable strategy. I don't think it's true. I don't think every strategy is profitable. So you gotta, that's where backtesting comes in. By backtest, I mean backtesting. So there's backtesting and there's forward testing. Backtesting is when, hold on, backtesting is when you're going on a chart when the market's, say, on like a Sunday or a Saturday. You have nothing to do, you backtest. You go based on previous chart. You go, you start last month. Last month, November 1st, say you start. You go day by day and you kind of, you test the strategy. Not in a live market, but just on chart. You see, oh, here's the setup. Here would have been my entry. This would have been my take profit. This would have been my stop loss. All right, this would have been a winning trade. All right, let's move on to Tuesday. All right, this would have been my entry. Oh, this would have been my stop loss. I would have got stopped out. That would have been a losing trade. Let's go on to Wednesday. That's called manual backtesting. There's software to backtest strategies. I've always manual tested strategies where I went day by day. And then once that's backtesting. Forward testing is when you're in a simulated account. Now you're trying to catch that strategy in an actual market while the market is moving. It's easy to see it in hindsight on a chart when it's already printed. It's different to be able to execute in real time before the strategy takes place. And that's forward testing. I don't know what I gotta do to quit blowing up prop firm accounts. So when you're still learning, make sure you're buying the cheapest prop firm account. Because when you're learning, trust me, you're gonna blow accounts. You're gonna blow prop firm accounts. It's a part of learning. What ideally, the best advice I could possibly give you is to just trade sim, right? If you have a brokerage account, a lot of brokerages offer simulated accounts. So if you could just trade sim and not invest any kind of money, that's ideal. Because once you find a strategy, you've backtested it, you forward tested it in a sim account, then you can start going to a evaluation account. Then you can pass that evaluation account, get funded, and not have to keep blowing prop firm accounts. If you want to trade evaluation accounts, you don't want to trade a sim account, even though evaluations are still sims, but just get the cheapest account possible. Size down. Your goal is not, when you're learning in a prop firm, your goal is not to pass the account. That's why I recommended a sim account, because your goal is not to pass. Your goal is to find a strategy that you can replicate time and time again. And so that your goal is for your equity curve to be going up. You're going to have some pullbacks. Then it goes back up. Then you have a little bit of a pullback, but you want a steady, you don't want an equity curve that goes straight up like this. You want an equity curve that goes gradually up. That's your goal, is to find a strategy that you can do time and time again. You can execute the strategy time and time again. Most emotional trader on TikTok. Bruh, are you kidding me? Have you seen the S9 future, guys? I overtrade and use max contracts, then I blow up my prop for accounts when I tell myself not to. Well, yeah, don't use max. Why would you be using max contracts? That's stupid, because you're just gonna blow it. Like, and hypothetically, tell yourself this, right? If you're still learning, what benefit, even hypothetically, if you pass the account? That's even worse if you pass the account, because all you're gonna do is you're gonna pay an activation fee. If you're with Apex, you're gonna get put in a funded account, and guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna blow that. But don't think that just because you get put in a funded account that you magically turn profitable. You have to have a strategy. If you can't pass an evaluation account, size down, guess what? You're not gonna keep that funded account. You're just gonna blow it. You're just gonna waste money. Man. Your goal is not to pass account. When you're learning, your goal is not to pass the account, not to make money. Your goal is to find a strategy that you can replicate, that you can use time and time again. This whole discretionary BS of like, what people do is like, oh, we're coming down to a low, let me take a long. Well, we're at a high right now. I think I'll take a short. That's just completely stupid. That's just dumb. You have no data. You're going off your emotions. That's not anything you could trade long-term off of. You may get lucky and have some winning streaks, but over the long term, you're not going to make money. Because you're relying on your emotions to take trades, not based on data. Yeah, you gotta quit but you're too focused on P&L. That's the problem. You're focused on P&L. That's why you're sized in so heavy. That's exactly why you're sized in. You're too focused on P&L. You should not be focused on P&L. Screw the P&L. Focus on data. Treat it like it's almost like a video game. Treat it like you want to pass the mission, right? You need to do specific steps in order to pass the mission. So you need to have a strategy, follow that strategy. And your learning curve is going to be faster because you can try a strategy. If it doesn't work for you or you're just having a hard time understanding it, guess what? Find a different strategy. Oh, this one doesn't work for me either. I don't really understand it. Boom, find a different strategy. This one, right? But at some point, you find a strategy that you kind of understand and you stick to it. Oh, I don't use companies with activation fees or intraday drawdown. Okay, I mean, a lot of those companies, it's still priced in. Like take Profit Trader, they don't have an activation fee, but their accounts are $100. Apex has an activation fee, but their accounts are $33. So, I mean, Apex, you still do pay a little bit more, but it's not like a crazy difference. You're still paying similar in price, even when there's no activation fee. I'm telling you, the ideal thing to do would be just sim account. No, don't trade prop firms while you're learning. sim account till you've proven yourself that you can follow a system and make money. Because really what you're doing is just you're just wasting money, ideally. I know, and I'm saying this as someone who didn't trade a sim account, who went straight to live. It was a mistake. I wish I could change that mistake. I would have saved so much money, but sadly, I was one of those people. Yeah, that's the trap. Don't be so focused on passing evaluations. Focus on creating a system, a system that you can replicate. And that will make you be patient too, because you're just waiting for your setup. You've back tested your setup, you forward tested your setup, you know it's profitable. So all you're doing is waiting. You're not getting emotional on any little, like you could see, I'm sitting here. I don't care that this thing moved up. I don't care that this thing went down. I don't get emotional. Right? You're just waiting for your setup. That's it. So all this noise in the middle means absolutely nothing to me. I use my funded futures in trade day. I've never used my funded futures. I use Take Profit, Trader, and Apex. And the thing about it is, what sucks is some people don't get that till longer. Like, I didn't get that till longer on in my trading, and that's why some people it takes, you know, 2-3 years to become profitable, and some people trade for 8 years and still aren't profitable. Greed, I'm telling you, greed is one of the biggest destroyers in the market. Greed will mess you up in the market. You can be the best trader in the world. Greed will be your downfall. Exactly the story of what's his name? Jesse Livermore, right? Hands down, one of the greatest traders in history. His downfall. The dude ended up, you know, offing himself because of greed. The dude made, in his lifetime, over $100 million in profits. But guess what? Greed ended up getting the best of him. He lost everything. And I think either went into bankruptcy or almost went into bankruptcy. Why? Because of greed. It was all greed. That's the dangerous part about money. Is when you're so attached to money, when you're very attached to money, the more money you get, the more money you need. This is why you can see people make $500,000 a year and are still living paycheck to paycheck because of greed. It's like people are always chasing money, Obviously, money's important, but it cannot be your sole focus, especially in trading. If you're just doing it for the money, that's it. Obviously, money's a big factor. Nobody would trade if you couldn't make money in it. But if you're just doing it and you're just focused on P&L, it can mess you up. Because you get to a point where, all right, you're doing good. You start making $4,000 a month, $4,000 in trading, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and then you look back at yourself. You're making, say, $20,000 from trading a month. And it's still not enough for you. You're still chasing more and more and more and more and more. You're never satisfied. I'm not saying that your account can't grow. Your account can grow, but what greed ends up doing is people oversize, over leverage, you know. People begin to risk 40, 50% of their accounts. Couple bad trades blows their accounts. So it could be a nasty spiral. Yeah, it's survival. Trading's about survival. Because markets shift, markets change. You got to know when to size down, when to go low. You need to know when to take a step back and not trade. Right? Making money, playing taking trades, the defensive part of not taking trades is just as important as taking a trade. Bro, there's probably been there's been times where I've came into my lives and I'm sitting here Monday, Tuesday, no trade. I'm waiting for a setup, but there's nothing setting up. I can't take anything. So it's like, that's where discipline and patience comes in. Sometimes you have weeks where, man, the market's awesome, and you got to take advantage of those weeks. Sometimes you have weeks where price action is garbage for your strategy. You're just not getting any setups. You got to stay hands off. You got to be patient. You got to know when to, you got to be able to walk away and not take any trades, possibly. Or you got to know when to walk away when you took a losing trade. So, and you can even tell yourself, I know this is gonna sound very corny, but like, biologically, if you look into the human biology and how your brain works and how the human body works, if you tell yourself, if you continue every single day, if you tell yourself, I follow my strategy, right? I don't take stupid trades. I follow my strategy. I only stick to my strategy. I only stick to my plan. That's it. I don't take any other trades outside of my plan. If you hammer that into your head enough times, what ends up happening is when you're sitting on the chart and you don't have a strategy and you're itching to take a stupid trade just to take a trade, guess what happens? Now your brain begins to tell you, wait, you follow your strategy. What are you doing? Why are you taking this trade? This is actually scientifically, like, in our brains, when we have neurons, right? And that's how you form memories and habits, right? When you repeat something, that connection becomes stronger. That's why repetition works. When somebody repeats to themselves that you're a winner and you have positive mindset, you repeat to yourself that you're a good trader, that you take only according to your plan. It sounds very corny, but I'm telling you, it actually works. Because it cements that thought into your head so that when you're actually trading, what ends up happening is, right, you don't overtrade. As soon as you have a thought of taking a dumb trade, the other thought pops in of, wait, you've been telling yourself every day, you only follow your strategy. What are you doing? And then you step out, you're like, yeah, you're right. I only follow my strategy. It sounds corny, but I'm telling you, you don't believe me? Look into it. Like, go down a rabbit hole of how your brain works. We have neurons, right? We have connections between the neurons, how memory is formed. This is why it's so dangerous of, like, when you go into it, like bullying, right? Bullying is it's not good. What happens when bullying takes a dark turn is when the person receiving the bullying ends up believing in their minds what they're being told. That's when the dangerous part happens. That's why you have one person not affected by bullying and you have another person that goes down a dark path after that because the person begins to believe what they're being told. So that's what I'm getting at is what you think in your mind about yourself, what you believe about yourself becomes your reality. And your brain, you know what the crazy part is? Your brain does not know the difference between a thought and a reality. So what you tell yourself in your brain takes that as a fact, as it is what it is. It doesn't know the difference between a thought and a reality. This is why you can watch a scary movie and your heart starts to race and you start to freak out. Why? You know it's a movie, but your brain doesn't realize that that's just a movie. Your brain is perceiving that as actual threat. So that's why your heart starts to race and you start to freak out, even though you yourself know it's just a movie, but your brain has no idea that that's just a movie. So like, what you think about yourself actually matters. And what I'm going at with all this is, if you tell yourself, I follow my plan, I'm a disciplined trader and I follow my plan. If you tell yourself that every day, eventually, right, you could start to act that out when you try to take a stupid trade. No, you tell yourself, no, I'm a disciplined trader. I don't take stupid trades. I follow my plan. That's it. It sounds very corny, I know, but I'm telling you, look into the science behind it and the biology behind it. It actually works. Ask ChatGPT or whatever. They'll tell you. Entered my position at 943, hit TP around 1046. 1040. Yeah, that's when I hit my TP. Wait, 943. So you. Oh, you entered. Where did I enter? I entered at. Oh, wow. I entered at 940. No, wait, no. Yeah, 940. Wait, did you take the same trade as me? Bro, that's exactly when I entered. Bro, you better not be following me. Yeah, I entered 943 and I got out. No, I got out. No, never mind. I entered 942, 943, but I got out around 10 o'clock. 10:07 or so. 10:06. I took TP all the way up here. I just trade with enough money in the account. I can average out of almost anything. Yeah. You do get more drawdown technically when you're in a live account. You get more. It's a lot easy. Like you get more drawdown if you were ever in a live account. I don't recommend it for new traders, but for 25,870, 25. Okay, see that TP makes sense. I can see why you took a TP there. I'm gonna start keeping a journal of my trades. Every day I'm gonna journal my trades of like, all right, made X amount of dollars today, took a trade, you know, and kind of describe the trade. Was a good trade, bounce off of VWAP, and kind of just describe the trade so I can later on go back in my data, right? And so that if I take enough trades, if, for example, I have a bunch of trades that I'm taking, pushing into VWAP and they're all losses, I can go back and see that and I can go, okay, maybe now next time I gotta stop taking longs pushing into VWAP. $25,878.50, 25. Oh, so above these highs up here? Yeah, I mean, it's a good trade. You got all-time highs. I mean, it's a magnet. All-time highs are a magnet. Yeah, and trade, as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing something, that's what's important. If you're taking a trade and you can't go back, and this is what I tell people all the time. I know I've said this before. One way you can tell if you're on a right path with a strategy, you should be able to go back into the chart on a day, say you didn't trade at all. You missed the day of trading. You should be able to go back into that chart and be able to tell me exactly where you would have taken a trade. Exactly where you would have entered, where you would have put your stop loss, and where you would have put your TP. If you can't go back into a chart after missing a day of trading and tell me exactly where you would have entered, your strategy is too discretionary. Nice. Inactivity. Yeah, and you begin to be confident, right? Because all you're going off is data. Once you have data, you get so much more confident because I take trades, I'm just like, I don't even hesitate clicking the buy button when I have a setup. That's it, because I know it's just my data. I'm letting my data play out. So really, like, yes, I could get emotional in between the trade when I'm already in the trade. Nobody wants to take a loss. But I don't let my emotions dictate where my TP or stop loss is. I just let it play out. But yeah, that confidence is key in trading. Confidence in your strategy. If you're not confident, you're just swayed by the market. Every little push up, you're buying. Every little sell off, you're trying to short. It looks entertaining, but it's not profitable. Sorry, I'm trying to do this puzzle. It's very... These stupid verification things, they don't work. I'm solving the puzzle again, and it's not working. So if I get kicked out of this live, I'm ending it. All right, I solved it. Wow, amazing. All right, so we're pushing on 11, 15. Oh, crap. What did I just click? What app? I use NinjaTrader for my trading. Ninja! And we pretty much look what happened. I mean, pay attention to price action, right? We pushed all-time highs. Once we got above this 5-minute range, look what price started to do. It bounced off the 5-minute range. Bounced off the 5-minute range. Started to push up. Here, give me a second. I'll be back. Pushing highs again. That's crazy. Looks like we're just grinding up. You know, I want to see... I want to see how many traders today shorted because they saw that gap down there and they're just shorting just because of that gap down there. I guarantee you a massive majority of traders took an L today. Is because they're trying to short. They're trying to short to the gap. And this is also why... I don't have a bias. When I come into the market, I have no bias. I don't give a crap about where the market goes. It can shoot up, it can go down. It doesn't matter to me. And so I'm not stuck to a certain bias. Even in the morning today, I wasn't stuck to a bias. I had no idea if I was going to take a short or a long. Ended up taking a long. That's what price told me. Price action confirmed more of a long than a short. So took a long. We're just grinding up. We got a low down here. We got a higher low. We got a higher low. So, but I'm about to hop off here. There's not going to be any, I mean, we're pushing all-time highs. There's not going to be any trade for me here. Plus, it's already 11, it's almost 11:30. So, it's a good time to just step away, walk away, and come back tomorrow. There's always going to be tomorrow, so. Wait, what the heck? Where's my... Oh. Alright. Almost live for 2 hours already, so. Took a W trade today. Good day. Hopefully I can take a very quick scalp tomorrow and pass these accounts. Tomorrow's going to be a different type of day for me. I mean, I'm so close to passing these accounts that I just need a very quick scalp. So I'm going to be patient and see what happens tomorrow, but we'll be back tomorrow for another day of trading. So that being said, peace out. Have a wonderful day. Don't overtrade. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.